total of 27 missions, and 21 of them were lead. If your crew was on the board alerted for the next day, then that started some things going through your mind, you know, about where you're going, what you're going to be like. I don't know if I ever kept me awake all night. I don't know if anybody did, but you know, you had some concern because it didn't take long flying over Germany to find out there was some personal risk involved there, you know, so it wasn't that easy. My name is Ray Baskin. I'm presently living in Clemens, North Carolina. I was born in Tipton County, Tennessee, which is about 30 miles north of Memphis, Tennessee. Born in 1924. I grew up there to become a teenager and on a cotton farm, basically. And along came World War II, and ended up in the Army Air Corps. I worked at an aircraft factory up in Akron, Ohio for about 6 months before I went into service. And I was working as an inspector, just looking at rivets, see if they bored the holes correctly. So that made me qualified for the Air Corps. So went in the Air Corps in February of '43. And first school I went to in the Air Force was radio operator mechanics up at Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I stayed up there for 3 or 4 months and applied for cadet training. And I ended up being a navigator in the 8th Air Force in England. We got over there in September, I guess it was '44. After 7 or 8 missions with the 34th Bomb Group, we were selected to become a lead crew. We were selected by, I guess it started with a squadron commander observing your performance, and he would make recommendations to the group commander, and that's the way they selected the crews, by observing your performance and felt that this crew had the makings. So I guess they just thought we could do it. And they took us off ops for about 3 weeks for training, and we ended up flying 21 in the lead squadron. So 21 missions as lead. We had 7 or 8, must have been 6 or 7, because we had a total of 27 missions, and 21 of them were lead. Not group lead, but working away in the lead squadron, from deputy lead to squadron lead, on up to group lead. And they usually kept 4 crews qualified to lead the group, and that was your most experienced crews, and usually you wouldn't be selected to lead the group until you had about 25 combat missions. So the war ended, we had 3 to go. Lead crews flew 30 missions to constitute a tour, where the other crews, the wing crews, had 35. So we had 3 to go when the war ended. And when the war ended, they immediately sent all crews home that had 25 missions or more, except the lead crews. And they kept us, plus all the crews with less than 25 missions, for another, it was about 2 months. We did some overwater training and that in preparation for going to the Pacific in B-29s. So that was our assignment. We would come back to States and transition to B-29s and go Pacific. Of course, it didn't turn out that way. The war ended before we got over there. I'm not complaining about that at all either.